Norway, the Chile of Europe, a long boy. Arguably one of the weaker ones to come out with arms against tyranny, but they do have a focus tree now, so it is a thick one. We have ourselves all varieties of communism on the left. Vote of no confidence is the aggressive democratic path. Nygaardsvold's government is the historical path leading to the king's no. Good movie. And then we have the stumbling Storting. Look in the shadows if you want your Kiesling. And the Royal Chamberlain's overture if you want the king to take power even if the king doesn't want to himself.
Sorry I'm tardy, old bean. I was just enjoying a rather tasty watercress sandwich.
Hey, he's more classy than I realized. Tie up the prisoners.
Capital idea, old sport.
And that is what we'll do today. We will make Norway great again through royal intervention. There's also the rearmament branch for your military needs, independent Norway for your industry needs, an air and naval branch, and of course the Nordic Council. Like I said, today we make Norway great again with some royal help. Research will start with the basics. Let's see, we have an army. It's not huge, but it's an army. Park them around Oslo for now. Production. We are going to follow up with a couple of trains and some artillery, and then a little more guns. Make sure to assign your MIOs, whatever. We'll build a couple of convoys and then design a better cruiser, because while our navy is, I wouldn't say huge, it's all right. It lacks screens. It definitely lacks screens. Construction. Not much to do, honestly. A couple of dockyards, I guess. Air Force will just delete and sell the airplanes on the international market. I love this new stuff. We'll sell our trains and we'll sell our airplanes for a nice construction bonus. We aren't going to use these anyway, so we'll make more trains and we'll make more Fokkers. I mean airplanes. We'll make more airplanes. The stumbling Storting, it has stumbled. Now the Royal Chamberlain's overture. Now, to make monarchist Norway work, we're gonna need to cheese this a little bit. Future patches might make this whole thing a little bit easier, but I found it to be rather difficult for now. But I think I found a way to make it work for people. Navy has done exercising. Let's send them back to ports, preferably Oslo. Then we'll add a couple of destroyers. So I'm going to remove the mining equipment. I rarely use it anyway. Add light engines and add the production company, the MIO. And it's not the world's greatest destroyer, but it will do. And we'll pump out a couple of these bad boys. There we go. The Royal Chamberlain's overture. Now let's head for rearmament and let a day take by. We got a bunch of new on-map decisions. These are all a balancing act. This is a set of decisions that has 3 stages to it. The first stage is the one you see here. It adds a very bad modifier to the state, making building of everything that isn't a fort worse. Oh, and a dockyard. You can still build dockyards. It also gives you support for online and political power, monarchy support, and it will take away stability and war support. Now, I've done the math, and I think because we get really good decisions through assuring the population, I think it's mathematically better to simply take every single one of these decisions and just eat the war support and stability hits, just eat them and use that free political power to boost everything else. So we'll hire the Minister of Agriculture and we'll hire the complacent politician. So eat every single one of these hits as soon as possible before we hit these focuses. The second tier of this decision, there we go, will give us that same stability and war support hit. There's no longer a penalty on the province. That goes away in I think a year or maybe 2 years, and it adds a free building slot in the state other than all the good stuff it already does. So now we continue to click this. Yes, it cost us a lot of manpower. We'll fix that and we'll use the additional political power to now hire the Royal Chamberlain and get more stability. And that is the second tier of decisions done. And now we hit the final tier. And what this one does is, again, the same stability and war support hits and more political power, more non-aligned, blah, blah, blah. But this also gives us 2 divisions per state that we do it in, ending us with 30% support for the monarchy and 20 brand spanking new divisions that are full of manpower, 6,000 manpower per division, ending us up with more manpower than we spent. Yes, we are at 0% stability, which does not matter since we can just make more through hiring people and what have you. And we have so many decisions that we can use to get stability and war support back up. So from this point forward, all we have to do is wait. That's it. All we have to do is wait. We got so much support for the non-aligned party as well. It's hilarious. Storting sent home, so war support is high enough and ease up conscription's gone. Perfect. Now we assure the population. This gives us more base stability again. We start building up stability. This gives us the decisions to give us weekly stability, weekly war support, and fixing the hard 30s, because I forgot to highlight this, but yeah, Norway doesn't start off strong. Obsolete armed forces are awful. Hard 30s is just gut-wrenchingly awful. Anti-communist sentiment isn't great, it's a bit but okay. And then crumbling fortifications is not great either, so we'll fix all of those eventually. And we do have a whole bunch of political power, so I'm just gonna hire the industrial concern, get a little bit of industry research in quicker. We'll hold on to the rest for other things. Now, as for research, I'm mostly going to focus on keeping the industry up to date, infantry equipment and artillery. Armor trains and AA will be our friends instead of fighters. Lev Trotsky gets harassed. So top option, historical. Not that interesting. Second option, ahistorical, gets rid of Trotsky instantly and gets rid of anti-communist sentiment. Plus, it costs us 10% base stability. But guess what? We have 0 base stability anyway. Then we can give that man an office and go the communist path. Don't want that today. And putting him in jail, not really interesting either. So let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone so we can get rid of this ticking fascism support. And all it does is cost us stability we don't have anyway. Assure the population is done. This cost us a little bit of war support. As a result, we got the conscription ticking again, but we can rush down to a warden king and we'll be fine. So King Hakon's power and then a warden king. So from this point forward, our base stability and base war support are going to start increasing. We can also use these decisions to increase them further. Propping up the economy gives us a little bit of extra stability, plus it removes the hard 30s in 3 uses of this decision. So we click this button 3 times and then we just need to see where's our stability at. If we make assurances to the people of Norway once, that gives us 15% stability. Probably use it once, and then we're going to spam promote the armed defense of Norway. Why? To go down to the war goals in the monarchist path down here, we need to go past Shield of the North. To take this focus, we need 70% war support, which is a lot coming from basically none. We can get 5% by firing Hans Istgard, that's 1. We can get another 5% by getting radio propaganda, that's 10%. We can get 10% more by sending an attaché to China when they have their war, so that's 20%. And another 10% by hiring Vikund Kisling, even for 1 focused. So we need to get like 45-ish war support on our own, and then we can continue down the tree without too much issues. So you want to keep an eye on these decisions and literally do them back to back to maximize your time. Let's get stability up by making assurances to the people of Norway. This should give us 15% stability. Should be okay. Now we could go on to the Kingdom of Norway, but we're not going to do that yet. Why? Well, this focus takes these decisions away, and we definitely need the armed defense of Norway to keep things going forward. We need the war support. Currently, we're sitting at 22%. Can bump this up to 27% by hiring Hans, but we need more. So aim for 40, 45. And while we wait, let's dive into the military branch here. Free military factories and kickstart the military industry. There's some free manpower and expand the Hæren. Nice bonuses to the army as well in the new Hæren. And then building an independent Norway and all of these civs. Very nice, very, very juicy. Now this is where that giant pile of political power also comes in. At least we can speed things along. Got ourselves an independent Norway as well. Free extra political power and factories. I think I want to grab expand Hæren first for the extra population, because I've used a lot of my manpower already just filling out my army into the regular infantry division, so these guys who aren't even that amazing, and I still have a bunch of militia that I will also convert, so I am going to need more manpower. And we are now non-aligned stability at 100%, 48% war support. That's good. Hans Istgard has been unhired, so he is gone. Chief of the army is gone, and our military theorist is gone. We'll replace those, but first we are going to send improved relations to China. And now we send our attaché. There we go. And we stop improving relations. That's a free 10%. So we need another 7%. We can get that. I hold on to some political power on the way, and we start our path down from Prince Olaf all the way to Shield of the North. So 1, 2, 3, 4 focus. Ideally, we could make it 5 by picking up encourage recruitment for an extra 20% population. Let's also create an intelligence agency. I'm going to need one. Mostly to fool Germany into thinking we're friends. Might as well also work towards synthetics. There's not a lot of oil up there, and if I ever want to use my Navy or Air Force or even motorized extensively, I will need oil and rubber. There has been some Anschlussing. That means I can take radio propaganda, and we have the required war support without having to hire Kisling. I'll hold on to the political power for a little bit, just in case things drop a little bit, but we should be fine. We should be fine from this point forward. Early 38, and we're almost to our war goals. I'll take my spy, put him with diplomatic pressure on the German Reich. We got trucks. Let's also make sure we can get to Denmark when it comes to it. Research transports. And for the King, the Prince is done. Shield of the North is next. We need to keep war support over 70. I think we're good. I don't expect world tension to drop by much anyway. That finishes our focus. We can now rest easy knowing we have plenty of war support. We also have plenty of political power coming in, and we can use it. We'll hire a chief of the army offense genius, and we'll hold on to a little bit of political power, maybe to go up to a war economy or extensive conscription. But there's more things to take. You can hire the aristocratic industrialist for construction speed, though I don't know how valuable that is on the long term. And we do have a couple of focuses to take before we actually get to war. Now, allow me to elaborate. First, we get royal claims, which is just a nice little stopgap bonus. And then we get to the meat and potatoes. We have claims, or get claims, on all of Danish lands. Faroe here, Greenland here, Iceland here, and then Denmark itself here. This gives Denmark an event, and there are several ways to increase the odds of them saying yes. First one, have a larger army. Then, if your army is more than twice their size, the chances of them saying yes goes up even more. If they have a high relation, above 75, their chances go up even more. And then finally, if you are not the AI and playing on historical, chances go up even more. What we're gonna do is set up for a naval invasion of Denmark, obviously. Unfortunately, we can't just hit Copenhagen. Our navy will not be able to get to the Danish belts for reasons that are logistical in nature, but we can just hit Jutland and conquer them from there. However, it is not entirely unlikely for Denmark to then give away Iceland and Faroe to the US and the UK. To prevent that from happening, we are going to be using our limited naval invasion potential to also hit Denmark in Faroe, take it from them, and hit Denmark here in Greenland, take that from them as well. It is not the cleanest way of doing things. If they just say yes to all of our demands, that will be way easier, but we have no way of guaranteeing that. So while we can get chances up, we can never make the chances 100%. Let's also start making some towed anti-air. That's going to be valuable, I think. Considering it might be a while before we actually go to war, let's just go up to partial mobilization. It might be a waste of PP, but we get so much of it now that I don't think it's really a problem. We're also getting our relations up. Should be good. And now we're going to ask for stuff. Easiest one is probably going to be asking for Faroe first, because it's short. If the war goal fires, at least we only have to fight one war early on, and we can skip like 2 or 3 more focuses. If they say yes to Faroe, we'll then ask for Greenland, so we don't have to worry about Greenland being weird. We will then ask for Denmark itself, which they either give or don't, will invade anyway. And then Iceland next. After that, we can turn to Sweden, and we can overrun all of our brothers and make them friends. I think we're starting to get a decent economy going. We no longer have a gun deficit. We have a reasonably large army. Don't have any manpower though, so would like to find a way to get more manpower without having to core the entire Nordic sphere, but might be able to get it done. Let's see what Denmark does. Claim on Faroe Islands. We have everything going for us that we can get going for us, so sweet. Munich has fired and Denmark has accepted our demands. Faroe is now ours. That's one less thing to worry about. We'll just put more of the men towards Greenland. We'll ask for Greenland next. Erik Raudes land. They've just signed over Greenland as well. Perfect. Now we just do claims on Denmark, and they should sign over Denmark proper as well. Claims on Denmark, how did that go? They've just rolled over completely. Perfect. Now we demand Iceland before they do anything funky, because Iceland has the option of becoming a US puppet. Don't want that. And with the threat of Denmark out of the way, we can prepare for our next target being Sweden. I don't see Iceland saying no to me, but hey, you never know. And they've accepted our demand, so that is ours as well. I could go straight into Sweden, which might be the best thing to do, and then grab encourage recruitment while I'm fighting Sweden to get me that extra bit of manpower. Yeah, I don't want to draw this out for too long. I need to get this over with. Now I'm going to take a couple of these guys off the front here and set up a few naval invasions coming from Copenhagen. trying to hit the south here and hopefully getting like a quick foothold to push from. For Sweden, we are pretty much going into the same direction we went with Denmark. So there are a couple of things that take into account whether or not the Swedes will give up the land or not. Ideally, we want Sweden to say no, because if they say yes, we get Jämtland, Dalarna, and Bohuslän. So ideally, we want them to say no so we can conquer them and restore the Kalmar Union. If they say yes, we'll have to manually justify a war goal that are very likely to join the Allies, and I don't want to be bothered with that, if I'm honest. Ideally, Sweden says no to my nonsense claims on Sweden. Sweden said no. Perfect. As focuses go, we'll take encourage recruitment for more recruitable population. We are simply going to declare war. We're not going to call anyone in because there's no one to call in. Our navy is providing the required support. The naval invasions here are ready to get going. Let's do this. Should be able to overrun Sweden relatively quickly. Sweden is pushing up north, but there is nothing up north that really matters. So as long as I keep momentum moving forward, I'll be fine. Not seen too much of the Swedish army show up yet, so I don't think there's really much of it here. And there goes Sweden. Hurrah! So we'll take the Swedish navy and we'll simply annex all of Sweden, confirm and exit. Now, if I was particularly vindictive, I could eat Finland next, but I think we're not going to get any free war goals on Finland. They're going to be guaranteed by the Germans. What if we just make Finland our friend? So to that end, I've signed a non-aggression pact. I could guarantee their independence, hopefully draw them into my faction, and we could actually play around with this focus tree for once. Other than that, we'll just continue trying to make this country stronger. Well, that's our cue. Germany started justifying. Non-aggression pact. Here we go. Bye, Germany. I think we'll be good friends. Good friends indeed. So what is the plan going forward? First, build up more of our economic strength, get more units out, and then we go for Bjärmeland or Bjarmaland. We are going to demand some stuff from the Soviet Union. Considering we still have the non-aggression pact with Germany that I can break, how about that Finland? So I want to break our non-aggression pact with Finland, put some troops on that border, prepare a naval invasion through Stockholm into Turku, and overrun Finland, and use Finland as a staging ground to take out the Soviet Union. While it probably would be a good idea to strike out and kill Germany early, it's very unlikely to happen, because to fight Germany, I have to push through a very narrow point here. It's like, usually it's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna start training up a couple of motorized divisions with the intent of using these as my more elite forces. We'll see what we use them for. I will also be naming these after channel members. So usually I name all of my divisions after channel members using a mod or a script. It doesn't work right now, so I have to do this manually. And because I have to do this manually, I don't do it for the frontline units because there is just that many of them. I apologize if that offends you, and I would understand if you don't want to sign up for the membership, but I do the elites, the ones that truly deserve your names, they will be named after channel members. I have run into a slight problem. Wasn't paying attention to the time, and the time is time for Germany to attack me. I don't think I can actually get enough troops on this border to extend our non-aggression pact. So we'll keep the war going in Finland. They're almost dead. I've deployed 8 units here, which is the same number as they have. So in theory, maybe I can keep them from canceling this? Maybe? I'm bringing half of Olaf's army home as well. German divisions are arriving in numbers now. Well, at least Finland has capped. I'll take all of their land. If I eventually fight the Soviets, I should be able to core it as well. Confirm and exit. And I'll bring the entire army home this time. Everybody goes home. And we're just gonna stack troops here. Oh, sweet. I can actually proclaim Nordic unity. I thought I would have to retake Karelia and... Oh, Sala's still here. This will allow me to then core all of Finland, so I don't have to garrison it. And that gives me manpower, so the Nordic League is there, I guess? Well, I think things have gone on long enough without me getting declared war on, so I don't think the Germans are gonna do it. They still have the war goal, they're just deciding not to. But I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. I hope they will declare war on the Soviets, and that distraction is what I'm gonna use to backdoor my way through here. I think I can push through with a little, I mean a lot of luck. I think I can force my way through there. This is a good amount of soft attack. Now, I have just noticed something about the Norwegian tree. Apparently, I can have 485 special forces battalions. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. All right, so Germany has gone to war with the Soviet Union. We'll let them fight it out. This part of the border now looks reasonably thin. I'm gonna set my navy to strike force to fend off the German navy, and I'm going to simply justify a war goal and the Germans for 25 days. I will take Schleswig off them, and then I'm gonna try and pushing through there. I'm also tempted to use these guys. So part of the new special forces tree under the Marines is the Marine Commandos. These are a special type of Marines that can exfiltrate from any coastal province. So you land next to a port but fail to take the port, you can just right back out to sea without needing a port, which is really good if you're trying to conserve manpower, and I think it might be something we're taking, and we are just going to go for it. Make or break, we are going to go and have ourselves a little fun. Navy's out, our limited air force is up. Let's see if we can bring down the Reich and take some land in the process, because I would like to take Schleswig and Holstein. Should be able to push past here relatively quickly, and the speed of these divisions should also allow us to create shenanigans. Well, it appears we've been stopped outside Kiel. Annoyingly, the river crossing slowed us down way too much. So, nothing for it. We will have to naval invade. We can, unfortunately, go up to service by requirement now, as well as total mobilization. We have enough political power to get women in the workforce. Let's get some war bonds as well. That should do it. That should help my economy out. I had hoped to make a bigger push here. I'll be honest. I had hoped for slightly more, but the naval invasion is gonna be what gets me probably. So I should get some Marines out. Again, I'll train. This is obviously bugged, so I don't know how much I have to limit myself here. But like 12 Marines? Like, this is just obviously bugged. This is not right. So I'll just use 12 Marines, and I'll rename all of these to channel numbers because they are the elite. So something like this, and then follow that up with a full deployment of the infantry currently guarding my ports. I don't see any German naval activity, which might change, but I'm gonna bring these units home. I can always use them as a quick reaction force if I have to. I think I have this area fairly well locked down. The German Navy just isn't here. Let's also put some mechanized into production. Lately, I've been a very big fan of mechanized, like budget tanks for miners or former miners. They're just really good at what they do, and they're not all that expensive. I'm gonna slow it down a little bit, and we're gonna see if we can actually land. Might be a tall order, but I think we can land. Yes, this is why I use Marines. They can actually fight when doing naval landings. All right, so let's get cracking. You guys help take Rostock. You help that. We've taken Stettin itself. Let's funnel one army in there already. And we've also taken Rostock. Second army go there, so redeploy the Malmo. All of the Marine divisions have managed to land. Perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Let's make this a little cleaner. Use a field marshal order, and the Marines can have their own order because they are special. Cullen, you magnificent bastard, you did it. You did it. I am very happy with your performance. You shall be rewarded. Now, the danger here is overextension, so we have to be careful in this initial stage. Once we get our footing, though, we should be fine. Supply is going to be a bit of a mess until we can link up with our own territory, because everything has to come in via sea, which, you know, bit of a bottleneck. Set the Navy out the convoy rating to do some disruption, and we'll put the Air Force over parts of Eastern Germany as well to help offset any air problems we might have. So far, so good, though. No real opposition has materialized, and I am on the outskirts of Berlin. Let's head to Köslin as well. I'm already sitting in Berlin. Sitting pretty in Berlin. Beautiful. If I can make it to Hamburg before any German divisions show up to reinforce it. Colonial Joe, if you can pull this off, I'm going to be very grateful. Colonial Joe has done it! Now, an offensive from the other side, using makeshift bridges to close the pocket, along with the motorized to close the pocket from the other side. And bada bing, bada boom. That is a number of German divisions wiped out, and the rest of the front is holding. I should put some pressure on Köslin, though. I need more ports to bring more supply in, and from Hanover I'll try to rush down to Switzerland. I almost always do this, but it works so well. It works so well. I'd be stupid not to. If it didn't work so well, I wouldn't do it. And the Germans are going to die. Yes. With that out of the way, now I can use the Marines here to force a breach, but the Germans are starting to shore up their defenses. this is a little late. I am literally sitting in Berlin, but they are bringing a lot of troops home. I don't think they can push me though. I have significant numbers here. I can always train more units. Let's start pushing out before things get too hairy. They are reinforcing the line with a lot of units coming in from the east. That's not going to help them fend off the inevitable Soviet counterattack. They haven't even taken Kiev. Well, it would appear my Marines are unable to push across the river. Why is that? Air? No, I'm not sure, but the Marines are unable to push. There is a bit of a supply issue here, so probably need to build up a bit more railways. That will definitely help. And my navy is slowly picking off the German navy. Yeah, it's mostly just really bad destroyers and a couple of heavy cruisers, but I haven't fought the actual German surface fleet. I think they're stuck in Königsberg. As long as I can whittle them down, it'll be fine. We made it across the river. Hopefully we can break out. I'll have to use the Marines. They're currently my strongest offensive unit, so, well, other than the motorized, so we'll try and use them to help push through the holes we've made. Must not allow the Germans to really cement a proper oh god. The German Air Force just showed up. Yeah, that was to be expected. Not much I can do about that. So much for that quick breakout. I feel like we might run into some difficulties here. Things are getting hairy. Things are getting very hairy out here. But we are breaking out slowly. Very, very slowly. This is not clean at all. Come on, break that tile. Hold them in place. Come on, 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 come on. All right, so small encirclement is better than no encirclement, and we'll try to close that aggressively with the Marines and with these guys. It's the little things in life. You gotta appreciate the little things in life. Unfortunately, they still have a port, but I am convoy raiding out there. Should be able to intercept whatever they're trying to get out or in. This is a nice amount of divisions we've destroyed. Probably 25 to 30 divisions in total. And from here, maybe move on to the Low Countries. Try to extend the line. Once the extra divisions show up, that will definitely be something we can do. All right, that was a good amount of kills. Let's take a look at this. So that was 175,000 in that last pocket. Another 60-ish thousand in the previous pocket. I think we did well. I think overall we did well here. Another 20,000 around Hanover. Yeah, not the massive win I was hoping for, but it will do. Marines are able to break through, and we'll follow that with motorized to expand the beachhead next. Just gotta keep pushing forward. Motorized is definitely capable of breaking through. I just need them to have like a few moments of free reign so they can drive like mad. All right, you hold, you two go there, and then we should be able to create another small-ish encirclement there, which we will then also collapse, encircle and destroy, encircle and destroy. It always works. Well, this isn't a huge amount of divisions, but it is something, and we are pushing into the Netherlands. Maybe not into the Netherlands. Let's hold off on that. That's another 10 divisions gone. Ooh, 11 divisions gone. That's nice. That's nice. Meanwhile, expanding the front into the Netherlands might not be the world's greatest idea, because my line is getting a little long and a little thin, but so is Germany's. I mean, the Soviet Union is definitely pushing back, and I'm thinking the Axis is a bit busy now. I'm gonna try to go for a thunder run using my motorized right along the Rhine towards Mulhouse, Basel. Still gonna try and get that cut off and recruit a couple of extra divisions to shore up the front some more. Yeah, I don't have the manpower for that many divisions. Another 12 then. Perhaps instead of that mad ambition, I should have sensible ambition and just try to create encirclements that actually, you know, make a modicum of sense and try to push through other areas. Let's cut off that salient. The Marines are still doing well. They are having no difficulties with the river terrain here, so they can keep going. Looks like we might actually close this pocket. I've also retasked my Marines to start taking land elsewhere because the line's getting a little stretchy. I want to take more of Germany's actual heartland, the stuff that matters. 22 divisions? 21 divisions. Not bad. Next stop, Frankfurt. It does look like we have a clean breakthrough along the Maginot. Then into Stuttgart. Let us expand as quickly as possible. Make sure the Germans don't have an opportunity to strengthen these positions. Just keep driving while we're here. And while we're here, let's get a presence on the Maginot part of the line before there's any German divisions there as well. I hate cleaning up the Maginot. I think we've made it to the Swiss border. Okay, so let's delete all the offensive lines. We're now drawing a new offensive line using our offensive units. Yes, the Marines and motorized, and we will crush the French side of things with high levels of aggression. Push right on through there, and hopefully I have enough infantry to cover all these new, significantly weaker front lines. I really hope Germany doesn't suddenly reach down into its trousers and find a pair, because I am, well, let's just say this is not a good situation to be in. But if I can push out from here, though, if I can push out, we gaming, boys. And instead of a very large encirclement, I think they're definitely pulling most of these divisions out through sea. So I'm catching some with my naval rating, my convoy rating, but most are probably going to get out. Germany's crumbling. I should probably be pushing the other side of Germany right now, but I just get so caught up in finishing the pockets I make. It's become somewhat of an obsession. I am by no means saying this is optimal gameplay. It's just really, I just really enjoy doing this. Vichy France has joined the Axis. Okay, in that case, I need to make an offensive on the top part there. I need my navy back out, convoy raiding the English Channel. But at least the rest of this is almost cleaned up. Funnily enough, I'm not at war with Vichy France right now, but I will be. Once they consider themselves strong enough to pick a fight with me, I will be at war with them. Until that time, I am not, so I'm gonna quickly set up a line there, but I need to clean that pocket up first. Vichy France just isn't joining this war, so I'll have to manually justify, which is annoying. I would certainly not want to be German high command right now, so the liberation of Warsaw, air quotes, by the Soviet army. I don't want to push because the infantry push would be too expensive, but I also cannot pull my elite units away because they're covering a front line that I'm preparing to mop up in 2 days. So, all right, we'll just declare war and I will roll them. There go the Vichy French in what is possibly the most disgusting way possible. Let's set course to Roma, and in the north here, I just need to take Vienna, I think. Shockingly well. Italy is already split in half. Let's rush down so we can split the loot with the UK. I wonder who's going to get the Italian puppet. Probably the UK. I had to Rome. Race to Rome. Benito Mussolini is deposed. Okay. Who gonna get the puppet, though? And then we'll get to Vienna from the south, I guess. I got the puppet! Sweet. I got Regno del Sud, I think. Yes, they're my puppet. All out assault. Let's just get this done. And there goes Germany. Is anyone still in the fight? Who is still? It's gonna be Bulgaria, isn't it? I'll just park my boys back home and we'll see what we can do. Okay? We'll see what we can do. Might as well justify a war goal on the UK for the Shetland Islands. I'll have a war goal. And because the war goal is for a claimed state, it doesn't go away. So we can get that later. I just want to take care of Bulgaria, and I'm faster than the AI is ever going to be. Please just let me kill the Bulgarians. Please. And there goes the peace deal. I don't really want anything here. Maybe Schleswig and Holstein for cleaner Nordic borders, maybe? I do want the German fleet and the Italian fleet and the French fleet and the Dutch fleet and the Polish fleet. In terms of land, though, what do I want? Not much. I prefer to just make a couple of puppets in the area. After one hell of a disgusting peace deal, we have a nice Norwegian Germany. Some very strange borders with the Soviet occupation zone of Germany in well, Königsberg and Oberschlesien. Because nothing ever makes sense, we have a Norwegian France, we have a Soviet France, we also have France, and we have a German Reich in Rhone because the peace deals don't make any sense anymore. Norwegian Italy is cool, though. Oh, we've got the navy out. We should be able to outclass whatever the UK has. The naval invasions are ready. I'm just going to declare the war for my claimed state. I'm not going to call any of my puppets in. Hopefully, I will be able to hold on to Faroe, Nordic Islands, and Greenland long enough to capitulate the UK and form the North Sea Empire. Let's see how hard this is. Yeah, once you land, it's not too difficult. There's not a whole lot of troops here because Britain was very, very busy overseas, I'm guessing, and they haven't had the time to bring everybody home. Everybody is embargoing me. We don't care. Your embargoes mean nothing. I have all the resources I need in the Nordic League. The Northern League is strong, is powerful, and I still can't do any of my focuses because all of my faction members are puppets, and it doesn't work with puppets. You actually have to get people to voluntarily join your faction for the shared focus tree things to work, which is a little disappointing, but okay. And the United Kingdom has capitulated. Let's take this final tile here, and then we can have our North Sea Empire, and I can go play something else. Are you ready? I'm gonna click the button. The North Sea Kingdom stands under, well, technically King Hakon the 7th, but really Peder Ankervedel Jarlsberg. Okay, so with that, we have taken Norway from 0 to hero, and then to villain, but I think we can put a stop to it here. This has been a very interesting playthrough. Norway does have some potential. I don't want to fight the Allies anymore. I don't want to fight the Soviets anymore, but if you want to see more videos like this, if you want to see more videos in general, keep watching. Let's see you guys in the next one. See ya.